The Benjamin Dixon Show is only possible with listener support. Go to www.thebenjamindixonshow.com to register for our blog and join the Progressive Army.
Today is Friday, November 18th, 2022. Thank you so much for joining me. I have a wide range of stories to cover today, but I want to begin in Camden County, Georgia, where police officers, or rather 5 sheriff deputies, are under investigation, and civil rights attorneys, Bakari Sellers and others have joined in getting justice for the inmate, Jarrett Hobbs, who video was released this week showing him, or last week rather, showing him brutally assaulted while he was on suicide watch, while he was incapable of even defending himself. It was a brutal attack. Now, the original video doesn't have any audio. However, the video that went viral came from our dear friend, Dr. Rashad Ritchie over at TYT, who gave a very vivid description of everything that happened. I want you to listen to the description. And if you have not seen the video, I do recommend you searching it out because the evidence is compelling. The only question is, why do these officers of the law believe that they can continue getting away with it, even on video? That's the kicker. They knew this video was being recorded, yet they carried themselves this way. They assaulted this man in this manner. Take a listen in to Dr. Ritchie.
Okay. They came into the cell. He's on suicide watch. They jump him. They beat him up. He's providing no resistance. This is a gang-related attack, obviously. Look at the brutality here. Other inmates literally come to save this man. No other news agency has this story yet. We're the first to bring this to you, and I have significant background as to what happened to this man. Very sad. It continues, and what happened afterwards is that literally they did nothing to help him.
They did nothing to help him. There's additional footage that has been released that shows that there was almost literally no purpose for them going into that cell in the first place, because after they assaulted him, they walked out and left him in there. You would think that perhaps they were going in to move him to another cell, and they do what officers of the law do, which is to scream, "Stop resisting," when someone's not resisting. But they do that because it's part of their standard operating procedures. And perhaps they were going to cuff him and take him somewhere else. No, the secondary video that came out shows these officers of the law, these sheriff's deputies in the Camden County Jail in Georgia, just walking away. Like it was just on a spur of a moment. Let's just go in and beat the living crap out of this human being. I want to read a couple of paragraphs from the Daily Beast reporting on it. And it begins with a quote from one of Mr. Hobbs's attorneys. They said the following, quote, "If Mr. Hobbs was an animal, this would be cruelty to animals," lawyer Harry Daniels said at the press conference in front of the Camden County Sheriff's Office. The names of the officers have not been released by the Sheriff's Department, which has promised to investigate the matter. Now, we can have full confidence that the investigators of themselves are going to be fair, right? Right. We've seen time and again that many of these stories, first of all, had there not been video, there would be no justice. And even in the case of having video, getting justice is an uphill battle. But now that the video has come out, of course, the sheriffs have to investigate themselves. And we've seen time and again how that plays out. We're currently dealing with that with the Mississippi Bureau of Investigations, dealing with the murder of 15-year-old Jaheim McMillan in Gulfport, Mississippi. They are investigating themselves. And these higher bureaus, where you would think that there would be some level of accountability, these organizations are in bed with one another. They are colleagues, comrades, friends, associates, drinking buddies. And so oftentimes the very best a family can hope to get is some type of financial compensation for the assault or the murder of their loved one, because actual justice where these officers would go to jail is a rare occurrence, even when we have video. And what does that say about our system? That it without public outrage, right? Without a video to trigger public outrage, there's no justice, which is why so many times we've seen videos be, just suppressed in the algorithm if they get out in the first place. We're still waiting on the actual body cam footage in Gulfport, Mississippi. So all they know, all they have to do to avoid accountability and to certainly avoid any type of reaction from the public is to withhold that video or to suppress that video as much as humanly possible. And every now and then a video that is so compelling gets out that there's no choice but the wheels of justice to roll. But what does that justice actually look like when they continue to do these things? When these officers continue to perform this way on video? Because they're so accustomed to getting away with literal murder and having their drinking buddies investigate them after the fact. Last night was one for the ages on Twitter. Every now and then you have a day that comes along on Twitter that reminds you of how great it is to be connected with so many people who suffer from the same type of social media obsession that you suffer from. Full transparency, obviously. But it was a wonderful night as everyone bid farewell to Twitter. RIP Twitter was trending. And this came as a result of the ultimatum that Elon Musk gave his staff, saying that they had to commit by the end of business yesterday. They had to commit to a quote unquote hardcore environment where they were expected to work twice as many hours and to no longer be able to work remotely and jobs being streamlined, et cetera, the entire vision being changed. As Elon Musk was giving a speech via video conference yesterday and 5 o'clock, the 5 o'clock deadline came around. Many of the engineers and employees of Twitter hung up. This is according to reporting from NPR. They hung up. They hung up on the conference and decided to take the severance package and leave. Some estimates leave Twitter with only 238 employees. They have lost, according to current reporting, they've lost almost 75% of their workforce, including their payroll department, including some of their key security, particularly the security part of their team that manages access to key critical systems. If you have ever worked in a tech company or actually any company that gives you access to their system, once you leave, it is a matter of pressing a few buttons and you are locked out of everything. Quite right. That's just how it goes. But in this case, the team that was responsible for revoking access to key critical infrastructures, they had already quit. The tax compliance department has quit. Payroll. I think I said payroll already, but I want to mention that again because now they're going to have difficulty. Elon Musk is going to have serious difficulty staffing up to just simply be able to maintain some key infrastructure at Twitter. That said, many engineers, the way Rest in Peace Twitter started trending last night was because some of the employees, as they gave their salute and they walked away from Twitter, they made it clear that actual parts of their key infrastructure, their servers, are not being maintained by engineers. And it's only a matter of time before the entire site goes down completely. Now, last night, we took that and we ran with it. And it was a really fun night. It was a night of everyone saying their goodbyes. Now everyone's being a little melodramatic, but it was all in fun. It was to recognize the importance of the connections that were made, the standing connections and the ability to leverage Twitter in a way that helped so many people's careers, including mine. I saw Chris Hayes from MSNBC pretty much confess as much. It was like most of his work that he had to do for his programming, he was able to accomplish through Twitter, right? And this is the case for so many people. But beyond just the actual brand and the name, it was a community of people who found themselves. And while many of us were in different silos and a lot of times we didn't interact, there were those rare occasions where everyone was involved in the same story. And last night, that story was how Elon Musk has devastated and destroyed one of the most important organizing tools for recruiting, tools for networking, tools for simply connecting. He and his billions of dollars and his ego came in and destroyed it in less than 3 weeks. And while the site is up and functioning now, engineers are saying unless these critical teams are replaced, it's going to be down in short order. Here's a breakdown of the phenomenon that I think is the most important part of this conversation, right? Notwithstanding the importance of the platform itself, but we as a civilization, quite frankly, we have just come through an entire era of public relations propaganda being pushed on us to convince the masses that Elon Musk was some type of genius. Do you think I'm lying? Listen to this first clip.
I think he is a genius.
I think Musk is a genius. Musk is a genius.
I think Elon Musk is a genius.
Elon Musk is a genius.
Elon Musk is a genius. He's brilliant. We all agree with that.
Elon Musk is a genius. Musk is a genius.
Musk is a genius.
I think Elon Musk is a genius.
Elon Musk is a genius.
Elon Musk is a genius. I mean, of course he's a genius.
Musk is a genius.
Elon Musk is a genius. He's brilliant.
Elon Musk is a genius.
Elon Musk, he's a genius.
Elon Musk is 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 a genius.
I think Elon Musk is a genius.
Elon Musk is a genius. Elon Musk is a genius.
Elon Musk is a genius.
Musk is a genius.
Elon Musk is a genius.
I think Musk is a genius. I think Musk is a genius.
He's the Thomas Edison of our times.
Now, I hope you recognize some of those voices. Jim Cramer from CNBC, a lot of Fox News hosts, CNN. You know, the consensus was that Elon Musk is a genius. And I never forget the first time I noticed the public relations aspect of Elon Musk's campaign and his just existence was when they dropped his name in the reboot of Star Trek. They were listing the historical people who led up to the future that Star Trek exists in, Zefram Cochrane and Elon Musk. They literally put Elon Musk next to Zefram Cochrane, the fictional creator of Warp Speed. And I was like, really? But that was around, I guess, 2008, 2010. I can't remember exactly the year that movie came out, but I was like, whatever, just let it slide. But now, ever since then, we have been inundated with nonstop rhetoric trying to convince the world that Elon Musk is a genius. And we have seen in short order with this purchase of Twitter that he is, quite frankly, anything but a genius. In actuality, he's more like Donald Trump in the sense of being a cult leader. I want to play a clip from CNN, but it's featuring Scott Galloway, Professor Scott Galloway from UCLA and UC Berkeley. I want you to listen to how he breaks this down.
Yeah, I think we're seeing the unwinding, not of a company, but the unwinding of a person. And I believe it's a larger trend. As societies become wealthier, more educated, the reliance on a super being and church attendance goes down, but they still look for idols. Mm-hmm. Into that void has stepped technology leaders, because technology is the closest thing we have to magic. And, our new Jesus Christ was Steve Jobs, and now Elon Musk has taken on that mantle. And every ridiculously mean, nonsensical, irrational move he makes is somehow seen as chess, not checkers. We're just not privy to his genius yet. I think this is an individual who has demonstrated a total lack of grace, has no guardrails around him, and is going to see his wealth probably cut in half. This is already the second worst acquisition in history, just a week or 2 weeks after the close. This is someone who, in my opinion, shows a bit of a God complex, vastly overpaid in a fit of mania or seeing something we don't see. This is a company probably worth $10 billion that he paid $45 billion, and thinks he can lay off half the staff and treat them poorly and disparage them and not have any ramifications.
Let me expand on that. That was a wonderful summary by Professor Galloway, but let me expand on it a little bit more. Elon Musk is walking right into his own destruction because he still has millions of people who will kiss his behind, lick his boots, no matter what he does. This is the folly of Donald Trump. But Donald Trump is in a different position. Donald Trump is in the clear state of decline because the numbers as well as the caliber of people who are still kissing his behind, they do not have critical mass to overcome his opposition. Donald Trump is not going to win the nomination for 2024. I doubt it very seriously unless something miraculous happens. And that's mainly because he's losing critical support amongst the people who helped him get there in the first place. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But you can clearly see with the announcement at Mar-a-Lago, the low energy was because, well, he didn't have the people in the crowd to draw the energy from. And he's realizing that he doesn't have Fox News anymore. And so while Donald Trump is on a clear state of decline, Elon Musk hasn't come to that realization yet because he still has millions of people who are going to throw flowers at him and make him feel like he's still the man. And so now he is running around Twitter like a petulant teenager, trolling people, while his critical infrastructure and systems and engineers who were a part of that $44 billion investment are failing and quitting and resigning. And let's say peradventure he's able to keep Twitter running, okay, and running on bare bones. Fine. But how he has demonstrated his willingness to be a barbarian with his employees, while this is being championed by the likes of Republicans who really conservatives, they really do want every employee to have this subservient sharecropping mentality of whatever the boss says, we're going to do it because our boss is our Lord and Savior. Right. You can see all through commentary from Republicans in this equation and conservatives in this equation. They love the fact that Elon Musk was requiring 80 hours a week out of his employees now. See, that's the type of relationship that Republicans and conservatives want all workers to have with their bosses, one of unbridled worship and complete subservience. But the reality of it is most normal human beings, especially in the tech industry. I mean, the people in the tech industry are treated well. They're used to being treated well, getting paid good for the money that they, for the work that they do. And all in all, if nothing else comes from this, even if Twitter survives, what comes from this is a tarnish of his reputation and the unwillingness of people in the tech industry to get involved with him. He certainly is not going to be able to raise capital to make another investment in another company without questions about what happened at Twitter looming over it. He may get the money, but it's going to be that much more difficult because of how he carried himself in this Twitter episode. But when you have a emotionally undeveloped man-child who has never been told no, a spoiled boy who has never been corrected, who's always gotten everything that they wanted, and started to believe the hype that he himself was a genius. He believes he's a genius. Like, in reality, when you honestly check the track record of his accomplishments, his money is genius. His handlers are genius. His PR team is genius. He didn't create anything, literally nothing, but he has a team that was able to get him credit for creating Tesla, like being a founder of Tesla, being the creator of PayPal. He didn't create these things. He simply had the funding to go in and get credit for it after the fact. Case in point, last night, Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez thanked the workers at Twitter for all the things that they had done creating the platform that many of us have benefited from. Elon Musk swoops into the comments and the replies saying, "You're welcome." For what, bruh? You literally just got there 3 weeks ago and have sunk the ship in 3 weeks. But in his mind, he is entitled to believe that he created these things, that he actually did these things. The only question is how long will this ego of his be able to run and not damage any more companies? I'm amazed at how SpaceX is able to operate and still be successful considering the type of megalomaniac that is at the helm. They have to have some guardrails there to keep them out of the conversations, keep them out of management decisions, because if you're looking at the way he managed Twitter, I'm surprised that these rockets aren't blowing up every 5 minutes. There are Tesla cars being burned to the ground every day. We're seeing in the news Tesla cars exploding, burning on fire. One yesterday report said it burned so hotly that you wouldn't even know it was a car if not for the rims. But I digress. Elon Musk, the world was trying to, the world of business and public relations, they tried to convince us that he was a genius. And as it stands right now, there are millions of people who still believe that. But you'd be a fool to actually go and work for this guy when you see the type of character he really has and what he really thinks of his investment.
Go to www.patreon.com/The BPD Show and get twice the content and unfiltered interviews without any of the commercial interruptions.
And here we go. A very special welcome to our newest patron, Joseph Romano. Thank you so much for becoming a patron. This show is not possible without every single person at patreon.com/The BPD Show. Go there where you'll get access to twice the content, none of the commercials, and you get access to our bi-weekly patron parties. Parties that you absolutely do not want to miss. Patrons from all over the world. DJ exclusive, Rebecca Azor. It's always a great time. Go to patreon.com/The BPD Show and become a part of this prestigious and prodigious patron family. And we'll be back right after this break.
Welcome back to The Benjamin Dixon Show. Visit us online at thebenjamindixonshow.com.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. There we go. I want to acknowledge the fact that Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi is no longer running for leadership in the Democratic Party. She gave a speech yesterday, and there was enough shade in there for me to share with you. Here she identifies the fact that she has worked with 3 presidents that she has enjoyed. Listen in.
It's been my privilege to play a part in forging extraordinary progress for the American people. I have enjoyed working with 3 presidents, achieving historic investments in clean energy with President George Bush. Transformative health care reform with President Barack Obama.
She's getting a kick out of it herself.
And forging the future, from infrastructure to health care to climate action with President Joe Biden.
She's getting a kick out of it herself. I can't help but laugh as she giggles because she's left out, obviously, -45 Donald Trump. The reason she's not going to be Speaker of the House anymore is because the Democrats did lose the control of the House in this last election. It seems like they're going to hold on very well to the Senate, so we're going to have a split Congress, and that's fine. But what it has opened up the Pandora's gate for are people like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who in this next clip I'm going to play, really, with all due respect, white people, you guys have to absolutely be embarrassed that people like this are coming. Like Herschel Walker, my God, could we throw him to the wolves? Just get it's embarrassing to have him out there with arc pigmentation in his skin. But my God, you guys have Marjorie Taylor Greene.
We had 5 million people cross our border illegally since Joe Biden took office. And let's compare that to how many Russians have invaded Ukraine. 82,000 Russians have invaded Ukraine. I think the American people and the taxpayers of this country deserve to know why the Biden administration and this Congress is so interested in funding the protection of Ukraine's border and not the protection of our border. That's a very good question. No, my white sister, that is not a very good question. And the fact that she posed that question, like she prepared that question and then took that question to the temples of the greatest empire of the history
of this planet. And she said that on international television for everyone to consider that horrible juxtaposition, that ridiculous whataboutism. I mean, it really just goes to show you that, white supremacy was never supreme. The village idiots are out in full force, and we have to deal with that now for the next 2 years because, yes, the Democrats lost control of the House. And now that they have lost control of the House, Republicans are going to investigate every ridiculous thing. Here's the thing. So long as an idiot has enough greater idiots surrounding them and cheering them on, they get to live in a bubble where they think they are correct. This is what happened with Donald Trump. He's finding out very slowly that even the president of the United States can end up lonely and alone with a bunch of losers who still support you but can't do anything for you. That's where Donald Trump is. Elon Musk is going to get there eventually. He just has a whole lot more money to play with. But with this fiasco with Twitter, he's going to quickly find out that, at the end of the day, you still can lose it all because of your ego and be surrounded by people who love you but can't do nothing for you. And in this case, the Republicans have surrounded themselves with enough morons for whom this type of ridiculous juxtaposition, like comparing the border crisis, quote unquote border crisis that is conjured up, right, with the invasion of Ukraine, numbers for numbers. I mean, if there's anything that you would compare, you would say all of the Ukrainian refugees who had to flee and now are in other countries by the millions. But no, she had to think that she was slick and try to tie in some kind of support for Russia because ultimately, at the end of the day, she's a Russian stooge. She wants Ukraine to fall. And so she thought she had a brilliant juxtaposition. I'm like, I hope I don't have to explain to you all why that comparison is so ridiculous. But it's just the beginning. We have to endure 2 years of people like her and Matt Gaetz having the stage to promote their ignorance and then looking around the country and realizing, wow, there are actually millions of people who believe this stupidity, who sign on to it. I just think that it is another hallmark example of how white supremacy was never supreme. And we are now even at the bottom of the barrel of the village idiots because she manages to be even more ignorant than one Donald J. Trump. Okay, folks, we're getting ready to go to the second half for patrons only, patreon.com/the BPD show. I've got a couple of topics that I want to talk about over there, a couple of more stories that I need to cover. And I want to make the case of the traitors and why we must chase the traitors out of our temples, out of our institutions, out of our media. We are dealing with a faction in the United States. And I have some clips from Tucker Carlson, some clips from Steve Bannon, some clips from other people just clearly making the case that there is an active faction in the United States that is willing to betray the United States in addition to their coup that's ongoing. They are willing to betray it and turn us over into the hands of Vladimir Putin because they are afraid of quote unquote wokeness, which really translates into they are afraid of having a democratic society, because a true democratic society means that all of the privilege and wealth and power that they have held through force and through discrimination over the existence of the United States of America simply does not, should not, and will not exist in a free and fair society. Because they know that, they are willing to cast their lots with Vladimir Putin. That's just one portion. I want to talk a little bit about some of the unions that are the strikes that are happening all across the country. There's a lot of strikes that are happening. So, and then we'll dig into a couple of questions that I want to ask the patrons in terms of just rhetorical, philosophical things for thought to expand our thinking on a couple of issues. Patreon.com/the BPD show. If you don't make it over there, I will see you Monday. And how about it, folks? We're back. We've had a full week, Monday through Friday, of podcast. I have to pat myself on the back. It's been a while since I did that heavy lift, but I'm more than happy to do it. And you should come on over and join the patron family, patreon.com/the BPD show. And I'll see you guys next time.